to day 6 of the Same Night Seduction Crash Course. I'm Epic.
And I'm Nick. Alright guys, if you've done your homework, you're talking to a girl who is a good logistical candidate, and you want to sexually escalate. You've set a strong sexual frame, and you've built some sexual tension. What else can you do?
You can bait her to invest in the interaction. Because the more she invests in the interaction, the more she's going to backwards rationalize that she really likes you. This is called cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance is discomfort experienced when one holds two conflicting beliefs about the self, and the mind naturally searches to alleviate this discomfort by rationalizing one of the beliefs away, resulting in endorphins being released and a subsequent euphoria. A classic example of this is the experiment done by Fessinger and Carlson, where they took a large group of students and had them do menial, boring tasks. For example, turning a peg a quarter of a turn every 2 minutes or so. After an hour of doing this, they were bribed to do a favor. They were to persuade another subject, who was actually played by an actor, that the activities and the tasks that they performed were actually exciting and entertaining.
These students were divided into two groups. One was bribed with $1, the other group was bribed with $20. And afterwards, they asked these students to rate how interesting they thought these tasks were. And as it turns out, the ones who were bribed $1 said that the tasks were much more interesting than the ones who were bribed $20. Why is that? Because the group that paid $20, when they were persuading this other person to do this boring task and saying it was interesting, they thought, well, I'm lying, but I got 20 bucks out of it. The other people, they only got $1, and they think, well, $1 is really not worth lying, so therefore, I must really like these tasks. So with cognitive dissonance, they rationalize it away that, alright, I guess that was pretty interesting, since I did tell someone they were interesting for only $1.
Alright, so how does this apply to you? If you're out there telling long-winded stories just to demonstrate your value to her, and she responds with just a little anecdote, she has to think to herself, well, yeah, of course I was nice to him. He was being really entertaining. But if you get her to tell her anecdote first, she has to say to herself, well, I was nice to him for no reason, so I must really like him.
Benjamin Franklin was famous for using this. As a matter of fact, he once won over a political opponent that didn't like him by asking that guy a favor.
I did not aim at gaining his favor by paying any servile respect to him, but after some time took this other method. Having heard that he had in his library a certain very scarce and curious book, I wrote a note to him, expressing my desire of perusing that book and requesting he would do me the favor of lending it to me for a very few days. He sent it immediately, and I returned it in about a week with another note expressing strongly my sense of the favor. When we next met in the house, he spoke to me, which he had never done before, and with great civility, and he ever after manifested a readiness to serve me on all occasions, so that we became great friends.
So after lending him the book, his political opponent had to resolve his cognitive dissonance. Like, I do not like Franklin, but I did do him a favor, so I must really like him. And from then on, he treated him with kindness instead of rudeness.
Cognitive dissonance can be your biggest ally in setting strong sexual frames and also in baiting her to invest. The more she puts into the interaction, even though you haven't really done all that much, the more she has to backwards rationalize, well, you know, he hasn't really done anything, and yet I'm doing all this work, so I must really like him. Otherwise, uncomfortable cognitive dissonance will set in.
There are many, many different ways to bait her into investing. It's something that we're constantly doing when we're talking to girls. And it's a good thing for you to put into practice, too. As a matter of fact, remember we were talking about openers, we said the hey opener? Well, if you say hey, chances are, whatever she says will be longer than hey. And so if she's put more into the interaction, you bait her to invest, cognitive dissonance, I must like this guy that I'm talking to. Right off the bat.
Or you can have her hold something for a minute. And this is something that girls do all the time. They might say, hey, here, hold my purse while I go to the bathroom. Or, hey, wash my coat while I go to the dance floor. However, you can spin this one around and do it yourself. Maybe you have a drink in your hand when you approach. You could just say, here, hold this for a minute.
She's very good at that. All right, are you ready? You ready for the awesome one? Pretty good. Hold this.
Another simple thing that I do all the time is I tell a girl, hey, you should tell me a joke. Now, here's the thing. They are not used to telling jokes, at least not the kind of jokes that guys tell. So, by getting her to do that, she is automatically putting herself out there and putting a lot more energy into the interaction than you were actually putting in yourself.
As a matter of fact, when you tell a girl, tell me a joke, you will always get the response, I don't know any jokes.
You haven't told me any jokes yet. We're waiting for them.
I know, I can't think of any. I'm sorry.
This is a perfect opportunity for you to set another sexual frame. That's because you only know dirty jokes.
Using kinesthetics or touch properly can be a huge yet subtle way of baiting her to invest. Why? It's because we are hardwired to crave and enjoy touch. It feels good. So the real fuel is, when you take that stimulus away, she wants that touch to come back.
So you want to be touching her as early in the interaction as possible,
So escalate your touch as much as you can,
without releasing sexual tension.
Judge everybody that walks by. I like that. What's up, love? How we doing? There we go. How we doing? Now you gotta do this right.
What's that?
The snake bite. You've never seen the snake bite before? Tonight's your lucky night. You blew that?
Kino is a vast subject, and we've mentioned it several times throughout this crash course.
But if you'd like to learn more about it, check out the Secrets of Same Night Lays audio course, any one of our DVD products, or get some live infield coaching from both of us.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. There's just one day left in this 7-day crash course, and we've saved the best for last. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about closing tactics. Have you ever had a beautiful girl come through your front door, and then you think, now what? Do I hold her hand? Do I get her a drink?
And really, how do you get her into your bedroom and have her take off her clothes? We're going to cover all this and more tomorrow. So stay tuned.
Get out there.